as you come in, y'all, please hit that subscribe button. Today we're gonna be doing listening to the court docs from Brick Baby's case. And it's coming today from KB Goes Live. He's on YouTube, and his description is in the bottom of this video. Thank y'all for stopping by Valentine TV. I sure appreciate it, seriously. So we're just gonna go let people see, because it's a lot of people that's interested in the court docs of Brick Baby. So let's get into it. Y'all please hit that subscribe and like it. If like the video, please. Alright, here we go.
More paperwork to go over today. Y'all know how I do it over here on this channel. I read the paperwork so you guys don't have to. However, if you're interested in just reading this paperwork yourself, I have left a link to it in the description where you can read the whole thing and download it. I've seen some people posting this stuff online where they were just reading it. Nobody ever gives a link to the paperwork, so I put the link down in the description below in case y'all want to read it yourself. But for those of y'all who click this because you don't want to read it, let's go ahead and jump into paperwork. So Brick Baby's paperwork got released yesterday on Pacer, and basically what this is a memorandum in opposition to request for review the reconsideration of order and conditions of release.
Sorry.
Attention. Basically, Brick Baby filed some paperwork saying that he wanted to be let out on bond. They filed this basically saying no, and they lay out everything that they have against Brick Baby in this paperwork. So right here we've got the cover page. You can see that they got Brick Baby listed here with all of his different nicknames. They got the table of contents here, which is everything that is going to be inside of this document, right? And there are quite a few things to go over. So skipping past the table of contents, we get here to this introduction. It says defendant Zahir Mitchell asked this court to be released pending trial, arguing that a secure property bond is sufficient to reasonably assure his appearance and the safety of any other person or the community. To the contrary, defendant's criminal history shows a dedication to crime and recidivism, no matter what the consequences. Moreover, his conduct during the investigation in this case shows the same dedication to a life of crime and inability to comply with the rule of law. The indictment first alleges that defendant, in shooting at individuals, possessed ammunition expelled from a firearm on July 12, 2020.
Okay. Y'all know that he was not supposed to have any kind of firearm, anything at all. Okay, here we go, y'all. Excuse me for all the mistakes I'm making, y'all. I'm just not feeling too hot today, but hey, we're gonna carry on.
22. Then, on June 21st, 2023, defendant was captured on an intercepted call arguing with his significant other, in which she repeatedly recounted that defendant had pointed a gun at her while she was holding his infant child. Execution of a search warrant at the defendant's home followed, and 3 firearms, including an AK-47 style gun and over 125 rounds of ammunition, were found. After law enforcement seized those weapons and arrested the defendant, he continued undeterred. In March of 2024, defendant erupted at his place of employment, threatening individuals in the room and online with death, fighting security, and later admitting to possessing a firearm during that incident. Throughout 2024, defendant made claims online of murdering people and threatening to do the same to others. Then on March 18, 2025, the day before his arrest in this case, defendant went on a live video podcast with someone who he had previously threatened to kill. During the podcast, sitting across from that person, defendant brandished a firearm in his waistband. When defendant was arrested the following day, an unsecured firearm with multiple magazines of live ammunition matching that seen in the defendant's waistband on the podcast were found where defendant was staying with his young child. Wow, so that
y'all remember that when he was on no jumper, and he kept raising his arm, pretending like it, and we saw the butt of it. All of us saw that. But yeah, man, that Joker, that Joker rough. He is rough.
That was a crazy paragraph right there. Pretty much they're saying that they had a wiretap of Brick Baby threatening to kill his baby mama. They're saying that Brick Baby went on no jumper and threatened to kill a bunch of people. And y'all may remember this is something that I covered on my channel. This is when he went on no jumper and had his infamous crash out and threatened to put a kill squad in the street if people kept playing with his name. Right, I'll go ahead and play that clip for y'all right now. It's not that long, just to add context.
Underlying conditions, nigga. On West Side Road to say that, nigga. On the dead homies, because y'all know what it is, nigga. And the nigga, boy, the reason I ain't come outside and kill one of you, nigga, cause I was in front of these white niggas. Dead homies, nigga. And the homies would have crashed, nigga. On 6-0, don't give a fuck about none of that, nigga. Shout out Devil Donut, nigga, my real 40s, cuz. These niggas 68ers though, nigga. On 6-0, and this my homeboy, nigga. On the hood. And whatever me and my homeboy gotta go through, nigga, to clear what we gotta clear, nigga, on 6-0, he gonna always be my homeboy, nigga. It don't matter whatever it is, nigga. But the energy that, nigga, from now on, nigga, keep on running content on my name, nigga, putting Kill Squad in the street.
Right, so they referenced that specific moment on No Jumper where Bricc Baby was crashing out inside of this paperwork. Not only that, they mentioned that he got on the No Jumper podcast with somebody who he had quote unquote threatened to kill before in the past and brandished a firearm. And they're talking about this clip right here where Bricc Baby, Loose Cannon, Adam 22, and Lush were all.
Y'all, that's the one. Yeah, he had threatened, and that's why he was raising that darn arm so they could. Man, Adam 22, you ought to be ashamed of yourself, man. You just. Allegedly, all this is my opinion, y'all.
On No Jumper, and Bricc Baby kind of did like a little stretch while him and Loose was kind of getting into it, and you can see the gun on his waistband.
Look, he looking right at it. Right at it. Darn.
I think he did that so Loose could see that he was strapped, but apparently Loose ain't the only one that's in it. Apparently the feds also were watching and seeing that. And this interview happened the day before Bricc Baby was arrested.
They definitely dictated the stream.
The gummies did their thingy thing. That's a fact. Yeah. We had some good fun, good clean fun.
Are y'all noticing the patterns, like the bricks and all this shit look a little different and all that?
You really feel like that?
Yeah.
You said Kappa was the one that
All right, so those are the two incidents that they referenced in that first.
And that joker, he's sitting there with his hands in his pocket. That joker, he don't know what he got. You know?
Paragraph, it continues, it says, all of the above conduct occurred after years of violent crimes, firearm possession, evading charges, and troubling conduct disseminated throughout the internet. Defendant's lengthy periods of incarceration and supervision have not deterred him from continuing to commit dangerous crimes. There is no reason to believe this arrest will be any different, and the safety of the public demands that the defendant remain detained. It's got statement of facts. It says, bullet point A, defendant is intercepted discussing criminal activities, including pointing a firearm at his partner and child. It says, in the first several months of 2023, defendant was intercepted on multiple court-authorized Title III wiretaps, both on his phone and his associates' phones. On multiple calls, defendant discussed criminal activity. Throughout March 2023, defendant discussed how the mother of one of his children accused him of pointing a gun at her, and defendant claimed that it was a lie. But on June 20th, 2023, a second person accused defendant of the same conduct. That day, defendant's significant other, KC, stated, you pulled a gun out on me with your daughter. You pulled a gun out on me in front of your fucking daughter. You pointed a gun at me with your bitch ass. Defendant responded, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. Ever since I've been with you. Wow, Bricc Baby is a real piece of shit. It says the following day, defendant argued with KC again about her picking up her daughter, ordering her to take the fucking baby outside, you stupid bitch. You sit in the house all day, you dumb asshole. KC told defendant she could.
And y'all, excuse the language, I apologize. Look, all of this, remember, everything that they're reading out in these is really 25 pages, but I don't think I'm not going that far, but look, it's all wiretap. The feds have it recorded. That's why it's in the papers. They listen to the whole everything. Even him talking to his mom. Y'all, everything. And even the mom his mom even said, watch your mouth. They might be recording you. She even knew that. But let's continue on. Y'all, now I apologize for the phone flip, flop. When I do it on my computer, nobody watches. So I'm doing it on the phone. I see people. Okay? So I figured that out, okay?
Did not walk her dry because defendant uffed up her leg, and then he was the one who hit on people. Defendant responded, man, on 6-0, shut the up, bitch. I just told you, you keep playing with me, you just want to see it. Defendant told KC to leave and said they were done. On the same day, KC again stated, it's so uffed up that you can't even apologize for the things you do. You've never apologized for treating me bad. Pulling a gun out on me like this is cool for you, but you want me to go do stuff for you? You talking about you don't want me, shit you got going on, but you gonna pull a gun out on me and my child though, right? Defendant responded, on 6-0, yeah, you don't get it. I don't give a uff. I don't. On 6-0 Crip. And remember, this is all on wiretap phone call recordings. This is how he's talking to his baby mama. It's got bullet point B. It says firearms and ammunitions are recovered from defendant's home. It said following the above mentioned calls, law enforcement obtained search warrants for the defendant's home, car, and person. Inside his home, law enforcement found the 3 firearms and ammunition listed in count 2 of the indictment. They found a .380 caliber pistol, a 9mm caliber pistol, and a .556 45 caliber assault rifle rifle-style firearm with over 125 rounds of ammunition. Defendant tried to drop some of the firearms and ammunition from his balcony into the courtyard of his apartment complex, just as he had previously stated that he would do on another intercepted call. It's got bullet point C. It says defendant is recorded on intercepted calls, making other admissions. Throughout the remaining period of the wiretaps, defendant made countless assertions or threats pertaining to violent conduct.
Y'all know I can't play it straight through, but y'all know he even told this whoever he was talking to, yeah, I got more bodies on me than you been in fights. I mean, wiretapped, all of it. Man, it's just crazy.
And weapon possession. For example, on February 20th, 2023, defendant stated that he did not respect the elders in the gang and would pop anyone that was on 6-0. On March 6, 2023, defendant was on the phone call with his mother and found the mother of his child outside of his house. He told his mom that the mother of his child was in gangland and wanted to expire early. Defendant asked the mother of his child if she wanted to die in front of her son on 6-0, as defendant's mother screamed at him to stop because he may be being recorded. Damn, even his mama knew he was on wiretap. On March 6, 2023, defendant told KC that the police were acting stupid and what they told him to, and then he was ready to shoot the mother of his child. Later that day, defendant told another unidentified male that he can kill the mother of his child, and he put that on 6-0. There's some interesting wording right there. It says that Bricc Baby told his baby mama, KC, that the police were acting stupid and that he was tired of doing what they told him to do. I don't know what that means, man, but that kind of sounds like somebody might be working. Anyways, it goes on. It says on March 28, 2023, defendant said that he would body slam the mother of his child on her neck and to stop playing with him. In the same call, defendant discussed how it felt to kill someone and had to go to school and play basketball the next day. Bullet point D, defendant continues to threaten violence and carry firearms. In addition to the intercepted calls online, defendant continued to threaten violence, carry firearms, and discuss both. For example, in March 2024, defendant quote-unquote crashed out at his place of employment, threatening to shoot people and eventually fighting a security guard. Defendant later admitted in separate interviews that he had a firearm on him during the altercation and that he brought his daughter with him to the studio that day, and they got this picture of Bricc Baby standing up, while he was crashing out. It says in June 2024, defendant argued over the phone with an individual and claimed that he had killed more people than the other had fought. Defendant stated that he swore it to be true on his 4 babies, which he repeated many times. In later attempting to downplay this claim, defendant stated that even if he had one murder, that would be more than the other person had fights. And right here, they're talking about when Bricc Baby told Loose Cannons, I got more murders in the hood than you got squabbles.
I got more murders than you got squabbles in the hood.
Oh, darn. That joker, Bricc Baby, what is wrong? Oh my God.
Oh, you got squabbles in the set. On the hood. Hey, I got. Can you give us like at least 2 names from your put on and what block? I ain't never seen you at no meeting at Hyde Park Horseman or at 54th. When did you get put on? When did you get put on? I got put on in 2002. I got put out in 2002 Eileen Street at June House. What's up? Yeah, dead homie. So when you get put on? No, you haven't, bro. You been in. Man, cuz Billy was a part of my put on. They was a part of my put on. Oh, the dead homies. My first name was Baby Wild. He's an Izzy turned East Coast. That was the third squabble. Who did you squabble, gang? Everybody. Who? You didn't squabble. Everybody. You would have went home first. You didn't go. Hey, you come up here with 30. None of them was from 60. You ain't. I got more murders than you got squabbles in the hood and homies, man.
All right, on bullet point E, it says defendant is charged with repeatedly possessing a firearm and ammunition.
Y'all, that was crazy. I didn't even know he was about to play that clip. That was crazy. So, man, y'all think they gonna let him out on bail? Y'all think he gonna get out? I don't think so. If y'all think he gonna get out, put it in the comments. Put it in the comments.
Despite numerous felony convictions. It says defendant is now charged with multiple counts of possessing firearms and ammunition, all in violation of 18 U.S.C. 922. The first charge stems from the defendant shooting 3 bullets into a business parking lot in July 2022 to ward off would-be robbers. The second charge involves all the firearms and ammunition found at his home in June 2023. Both of these charges followed 5 felony convictions from 2010, 12, 14, 16, and 20, respectively. Damn, Bricc Baby is getting arrested and charged every 2 years for the last decade. It says, respectively, while the pretrial services report includes a longer criminal history with out-of-state convictions. Bullet point F, the morning of defendant's instant arrest, he had an unsecured firearm and ammunition in reach of his young child. On March 19, 2025, law enforcement arrested the defendant on the felon in possession charges in the indictment at his residence in Gardena, California, with his significant other and young child. Agents found a Glock 26 firearm and a 17-round Glock magazine with 16 rounds of 9mm ammunition, as well as another magazine with 16 rounds of 9mm ammunition. Defendant kept all of that unsecured despite residing with his significant other and a child he had already threatened with a firearm before, despite being arrested with all of the firearms and ammunitions at his residence in June 2023, despite his many felony convictions prohibiting him from possessing firearms or ammunition, and despite California Penal Code 32310 prohibiting possession of large capacity magazines. Bullet point G, defendant's criminal history is full of violence and supervision violations. As shown in the pretrial services report and the indictment itself, defendant's multiple firearm and ammunition possession charges in this case are far from the defendant's first crimes. Number one, in 2006, there was a narcotics and obstruction of law enforcement charge. Almost 20 years ago, defendant earned his first felony from a narcotics distribution conviction, while he also was charged with willful obstruction of law enforcement officers by use of threats or violence. He was sentenced to 10 years probation and given a second chance with community service and schooling conditions. Incident number two, in 2010, reckless evading involving assault with a deadly weapon. In 2010, defendant's criminal charges escalated with a charge for assault with a deadly weapon with great bodily injury likely and a conviction for evading a peace officer with disregard for safety. Defendant was sentenced to 365 days in jail and 3 years of probation, a violation of which resulted in 2 years of confinement. According to the
Yeah, I think that is he couldn't do the 365 days of a year probation without getting in trouble, so he ended up doing 2 years, right? Oh, I'm gonna play this last part, and that's it. Okay, listen.
certified conviction records and police reports for the original crime. Police saw a S worker enter the defendant's car, and defendant then sped off upon seeing police. Defendant led police on a high-speed chase through stop signs and red lights. At some point, defendant pushed the female out of the moving vehicle. The victim landed on her face, and defendant ran over her thigh with his car. The victim later stated that she asked to be let out multiple times, but Bricc Baby refused until he later threw her out of the car. The victim also stated that the defendant said he had something he needed to get rid of during the chase and threw a handgun out of the window. The third incident.
Y'all know she was gonna tell after he done pushed her out the car. Yeah, so if y'all want to see him read the rest of it and see the full thing without any interruption, anything, go go to KB Goes Live and on YouTube. Okay, it's in this description of this video. Okay, all right, that's it for me. Valentine's out. I love y'all. All right, talk to y'all later. Bye.